Having trouble getting through, sir?
Oh, it's my lab assistant. Honestly, he leaves me a message to phone him urgently and then he doesn't even answer the phone. Andrew! What? Was anyone hurt? Oh, thank heavens for that. Where was the fire? In the lab? What about my work? All destroyed. Scan everyone's computers. There might be some parts of the research somewhere. I'll phone you later.
Is everything all right, sir?
My case. Someone's stolen my case.
No one's stolen your case. It was the bellboy. I saw him take it a couple of minutes ago to the storeroom at the end of the corridor. It's because your room isn't ready yet.
What's the matter with Roger? He can pass me the like a bat out of hell.
I've no idea. So, you think he's really found a cure for malaria?
Sounds like it.
That'll be a kick in the teeth for you, Claire.
If Roger beats me to it, good luck to him. You can't be too happy about his serum yourself, Donald.
Meaning?
Well, your company makes the leading anti-malaria drug. If there's a cure, then there's no need for your drug.
If it actually works. But last I'd heard, Roger's research had hit a dead end. And now, suddenly, his serum is ready to launch.
It's gone. My serum. This is a disaster.
You must have more at your lab.
No, I just found out there was a fire at the lab last night. It destroyed everything. All my research and all the other samples of the serum. This is the only one left.
I always said you scientists couldn't be trusted. I just found this broken test tube in a sink.
No.
I've cut my finger
You
on it.
mad woman. You have just destroyed the only sample of a serum that could have saved millions of lives.
What on earth are you on about?
Try and deny that
Standby team. Looks like we have a case. Thank you. Welcome to the Academy of Criminal Investigation. A serious crime has taken place in the hotel above, and you're here to crack it. If you do, entrance into the Academy is assured. Who are you?
I'm Jim, I'm 12 years old, and I'm really good at getting information out of people.
I'm Natasha and I'm 12 years old and I'm good at questioning.
I'm Finn, and I'm 12 years old, and I'm good at putting evidence together.
It's nice to meet you. I'll tell you what I know about the suspects. There's a medical science conference taking place here this week, and Roger Lefwin is here to announce that he's developed a revolutionary new cure for malaria. Unfortunately, he's just learnt that there was a fire at his lab and it's destroyed his total stock, apart from the one sample of serum that he's brought with him to the hotel. Now, this was in a flight case and was taken from reception to the storeroom with the rest of the luggage. Now, the serum was found destroyed in the sink in the cloakroom by Jenny McManus, who's an animal rights activist, and she's here to campaign against the use of animals in medical science. Claire Almond, she's another scientist, and she's close to producing a cure for malaria. Donald Muir works for a pharmaceuticals company, which produces the leading brand of anti-malarial tablets. So, who destroyed the serum and why? That's what I know. Let's hear from the suspects.
While I was waiting to check in, that extremist, Jenny McManus, appeared and started to harangue me. The manager had to intervene. And then he told me that my lab in Edinburgh had left an urgent message for me to call them. When eventually I got through to my assistant, Andrew, he told me that there had been a fire at the lab in the early hours of the morning. Was anyone hurt? All my work on the malaria serum has been destroyed. And then I realized that my case had been taken away, and I panicked because it contained what was now the only remaining sample of the serum. I rushed out to find it, and when I eventually did, the case had been broken into, and the only remaining file of serum was gone. I'm convinced that Jenny McManus did it. I know that she's got a police record for criminal damage.
I booked into Kilcramond House yesterday. I intend to mount a legal demonstration to draw attention to the fact that much so-called medical research involves appallingly cruel experiments on animals. This morning, I saw Roger Leftwin and Claire Ammond in reception. I confronted them, but Donald Muir butted in, and then the manager came over, so I decided to save my protest until later. I went outside for a few minutes, but it was freezing, so I came back in through the conservatory. On my way back to reception, I popped into the loo. When I went to wash my hands, I saw the broken file in the sink. I cut my finger picking it up. I could be infected with anything.
I was in reception speaking with Claire Almond when Roger came in holding a flight case. He said it had been broken into and the sample of his serum stolen. Shortly after that, Jenny McManus came in with the remains of a broken file. But Roger was very upset. I think the whole thing is highly suspicious. I know for a fact that the people funding Roger's research have been unhappy with his progress and were threatening to put a stop to his funding. Now, conveniently, there's no way of proving if his serum really worked or not.
I arrived at the hotel about 10:30. I was talking to Roger when Jenny McManus came down the stairs looking as aggressive as ever. I've had confrontations with that woman before and I didn't fancy another one. I had spotted the sign for the hotel gym, so I decided to go and check it out. I was heading back up the corridor when Roger ran past me in a panic. He nearly knocked me over. A couple of minutes later, Roger came to the hotel reception and said his last remaining sample of serum had been stolen. I can't imagine what Roger's going through at the moment.
So those are the suspects. We're looking for means, we're looking for motive, and we're looking for opportunity. Who do you think has the strongest motive so far?
Donald Muir, because if the drug came out, he'd lose all of his money.
I think that it would be Claire because she wants to be more
No,
successful.
it would definitely be Jenny McManus because she's got a criminal record and she's against animal cruelty and she had the opportunity because she went outside and went to the toilet. But it was committed.
So the team is suspicious of marketing man Donald Muir, rival scientist Claire Almond, and animal rights campaigner Jenny McManus. But, interestingly, Donald implied that Roger Leftwin might have staged the incident to cover up the fact that his malaria serum doesn't really work. OK, well, it's now time to update your suspect timeline and your incident board. The timeline is for plotting where the suspects were and when during the crime. And this is your incident board. Write down any general leads that you think are interesting, OK? Get to it.
Jenny McManus is against animal testing.
She's against animal testing and she had the opportunity because she went out at the same time as the crime was committed.
The team seem pretty clued up, but they don't yet have all the details to solve the crime.
Yeah. For Donald, we've got...
He'd lose all his money.
Mm-hmm.
He came in when the suitcase was found. We have a CCTV footage.
Oh, thank you. Team, gather round. Our first piece of vital evidence has come through. CCTV footage from the hotel cameras. This can prove whether or not our suspects were telling the truth about where they were and when during the crime. Watch this very, very carefully and update your timeline. We have to be quick because I can't keep these suspects forever. I've got to go back upstairs and look at the crime scene more closely.
10:29, Roger comes in with suitcase.
10:29, the guy comes in with a suitcase.
Roger, there's already and Donald's there.
Yeah, Donald's there. He's there already. Look, here's Jenny McManus.
Right, 10:32.
No, but here comes the guy.
10:32 at the front desk.
10:32 front desk.
Roger's talking to Claire and Jenny.
Yeah.
Talking.
10:33. She walks away after being annoyed.
10:34.
10:34. They're still
At the front
talking, and
desk.
then Jenny walks out in a rage. 10:36.
And what happens here? Roger realizes Case is missing, and then Donald enters.
There's Roger with the suitcase.
And it's open.
10:38 and
10:38.
Is that Jenny?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Jenny.
Jenny comes back.
At 10:38, Jenny comes in with the broken serum.
Yeah, it's those three.
Would you take this up to the forensics lab, please? Thank you. So, team, can you quickly brief me on what you found on the CCTV, please?
Well, we found out that Claire obviously lied about what time she arrived at the hotel. Because she said she arrived at 10:30, but she obviously arrived at 10:29 or before. We also figured out that just as the suitcase was being picked up to go to the cloakroom, Claire walked out in a mood, and so did Jenny McManus a minute afterwards. So we're thinking maybe them two, because they walked out just as it was taken away.
The team's CCTV analysis has confirmed that Claire Almond and Jenny McManus both had opportunity to commit the crime. However, Donald Muir's movements have not yet been fully accounted for. Could he have accessed the cloakroom and destroyed the serum? Team, follow me upstairs to the forensics lab. I want to talk to you about trace evidence. Now, trace evidence is very important. Small pieces of information that may have been left by the criminal and they don't even know they've done it. We're talking about clothing fibres, footprints, fingerprints, maybe even in this case, human blood samples. This is Roger's flight case. If you could dust that down for fingerprints. I found this nail file on the floor of the cloakroom. It's one of the complimentary ones, so you can find it by the sink. Everyone's got access to it. See if you can find some evidence to link it to the crime. And this is the broken tube. The last remaining serum was in here. I'm going to test this for blood samples with the help of my scientists. Get to it.
Okay. What's it? It's been bent.
Has it?
Yeah. Somebody's could have used it for something. Look at the top.
Tash, I think I've got something. What? I think there's a little trace of a fingerprint just here. Down there.
No, it definitely
Is it?
okay.
Well, scars are the main bits. You can tell. And then since there's a lot more distant there. So it couldn't be because
that has like double. Like we could try this one. Right, so it's got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're basically in the same place. Yeah, so I think it could be Roger, but then Roger,
it's Roger's case, so he could have opened it any time. Unless the person who actually broke into it was clever and wore gloves.
You've been very busy.
Yeah, we found that a nail file was bent. We think that whoever it was tried to pick at the lock with a nail file.
Good idea.
And we also found that Roger's fingerprints was on the case, but we thought that it's Roger's case, so obviously there would be his fingerprints on.
OK, you might want to write this down as well. I've checked the gym register. Claire Almond did not sign in. So, through all this investigation so far, which suspect would you like to interrogate first?
Claire.
Are you all agreed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's bring her down.
Hello.
Hello?
What time did you exactly arrive at the hotel today?
I arrived at the hotel around about 10:30. I couldn't give you an exact time.
All
but-
right, okay. Did you actually visit the gym?
Yes, I did.
Did you? Why didn't you sign in?
Because I wasn't using the gym. I was just having a look to see what it was like.
What were you talking about in the reception? You walked off in a mood.
I walked off because Jenny McManus was mouthing off, and I didn't want to hear anymore. I mean, I've met that woman before, and I couldn't be bothered with her, so I decided to walk away.
So where did you go once you walked off?
When I walked away,
Yes.
I went to check out the gym.
So how do you feel about this new drug coming out?
I think if this new drug works, I think it's a wonderful thing. It will save a lot of lives.
Just out of curiosity, do you file your nails?
Do I file my nails?
Yes.
It's an odd question. No, I get my nails professionally manicured.
Okay, thank you very much. You've been a great help.
Thank you.
Oh, come on, this is ridiculous. What do you think you're doing? You're putting me in a cage.
Miss Almond, we won't keep you long. Team. Tests have shown that glove marks and minute fibres of brown suede have been found on the aluminium flight case. Also, tests have shown that minute fibres and brown suede have been found on the nail file as well. Conclusion, the nail file may have been handled with brown suede gloves. Results show that the blood on the broken shards of glass from Roger Lethwin's file could have come from Donald Muir, Jenny McManus, or Claire Almond, but could not have come from Roger Lethwin. What do you think?
Well, I think it might have been Claire because she's wearing brown.
Yeah.
The only sample of a revolutionary new cure for malaria has been stolen and destroyed at a medical science conference being held at the hotel. The serum was developed by scientist Roger Lethwin, whose laboratory was burnt down overnight. Animal rights campaigner Jenny McManus claims she found the remains of the broken phial of serum in a sink in the ground floor cloakroom. Also attending the conference are Donald Muir, marketing manager for a leading brand of anti-malarial drugs, and scientist Claire Almond, who's been developing her own cure for malaria. She was seen in the corridor near the cloakroom around the time of the crime. Forensic analysis has shown that a bent nail file found in the cloakroom could have been used to break open the flight case, and that the culprit may have worn brown suede gloves. The team seem on the ball, but I'm not sure they've fully exploited the first interview, but there are 2 more to go. Who do you suspect? Hello?
Suspicious that everyone else.
Claire?
Yeah, Claire.
She apparently. The case is still missing.
Team,
By 10.
I've just been on the telephone to the chief fire officer in Edinburgh, and he has confirmed that the fire in Roger's lab was deliberately started. Apparently the lock was smashed. Now, he estimates the time of the fire being between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. this morning. Write this down. 2 of the suspects drove here from Edinburgh this morning. That was Claire Almond and Roger Lethwin. It's a 2.5-hour drive from Edinburgh to Kilcrummond. Donald and Jenny, they both stayed here last night. Don't rule them out, just in case they had an accomplice. Natasha, something's come through.
It's a crime record report on Jennifer McManus. She's been convicted twice for causing criminal damage.
Twice? Right, you've already interrogated your first suspect. You have 2 more to interrogate. Who's next?
Jenny.
Why?
Because she's been convicted and we want to know what for.
Let's bring her down.
Sit down, please.
Hello.
Hello?
Why don't you like Roger's serum?
Why don't I like it?
Yes.
It's not that I think the serum is a bad thing, but it's developed by testing on animals, doing cruel tests on innocent animals, and I'm not sure I believe that we have the right to life above and beyond other living creatures.
But you've had 2 convictions. Why do you think that vandalism helps it?
Yeah, I see you're aware of my criminal record. Well, I used to protest in that way, and then I realised that it doesn't really help, that it doesn't get any public support.
And where were you during the hours of 3 to 5 a.m. this morning?
This morning,
Yes.
I booked into Kilcrummond yesterday. I was asleep in bed upstairs.
What were you saying to Roger and Claire that made Claire walk off?
I was trying to make my position clear, and Claire doesn't like hearing it, nor does Roger. None of the scientists do.
Where did you go on your walk?
I just went immediately outside of the hotel. There's some formal gardens just to the right. I had a look around, but it was very cold. I came back in.
Okay, thank you for your time.
You can't keep me here, you know. I know what my rights are. Don't you think you should be focusing on the real crimes that happen in research?
At 10:32, sorry, they're all talking at the front desk. The bellboy comes and takes the suitcase away from them. At 10:33, Claire walks out and goes to the gym. At 10:34, she's followed by Jenny, who walks out in a mood. And at 10:36, Roger realizes that the case is missing.
He runs to the storeroom and nearly knocks over Claire.
So who did it?
I think so far, the information
The
I've
best
got,
means have been Claire and Jenny.
Team, one of the maids has found these brown suede gloves in a bin in the ground floor corridor, fibres of which match both the flight case and the nail file. Now, I've got Donald and Roger to try them on already. Donald's hands were too big, but they did fit Roger.
Okay.
I suggest you get the other two suspects to try them on.
Can you try them on, please?
That proves nothing.
Try those, please.
Did you say they were suede?
Try them on.
I don't wear suede or fur or leather.
Try them on, please.
Disgusting.
Well, thank you, suspects. What do you think of what you've just seen?
Well, we saw that both of them, the gloves fit both of them.
So I don't think it could be this
I
guy.
don't think it could be
It can't be him.
Donald.
We've got 3 suspects right now. We're going to have to interrogate Roger.
You're going to interrogate Roger Lefwin?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's bring him down.
Take a seat, please.
Did the serum really work?
Of course the serum worked, and that's why I developed it. That's why I brought it here.
How much did you lose from this incident?
Well, I don't know if I've lost anything yet, but potentially the bankers have put in about £2 million.
Why did you fall out with the bankers?
I never fell out with them. I never fell out with the bankers. I realised they were getting a little worried that progress wasn't as fast as it should be. I mean, that's why I did all the work. I was in that lab 20 hours a day, working my socks off, and that's how I made the breakthrough. I'm only worried that now that we've lost all the serum, that they might pull out.
Who do you think did it?
No idea. I don't know who did it.
Why were you carrying the serum in a bag, and then why did you let the guy leave it in the cloakroom?
Well, I brought it with me because of the conference. I was going to present a paper and let everybody see the new serum. I was very excited about it, but I don't know. I didn't let the bellboy take it away. I mean, it was just taken away. I was busy signing in. I wasn't worried about it.
Why did you only bring 1 serum? Because you had,
Well, I only needed to bring 1 serum. How many do you want me to bring?
well, because you had so many in the lab, you could have brought maybe quite a few.
Yeah, but they only needed to see 1 serum. I mean, I knew I had all the other ones in the lab.
Okay, thank you very much.
What is going on here? This is the worst day of my life.
Mr. Lefwin, if you're innocent, you've got nothing to worry about. Team, I need you to tie together all loose pieces of information because in just a moment I'm going to be asking you who you think committed the crime. Well, go on then.
I think it's Jenny.
I don't. I think it's Claire.
I think it's Jenny because, I mean, like, she's had 2 criminal records.
Yeah, but how could she be there at the same time?
Good question. The case hinges on whether the team think that the person who smashed Roger's last sample of serum was the same person who broke into his lab in Edinburgh last night and set fire to it. Jenny McManus and Donald Muir both stayed here at the hotel last night, so couldn't have set the fire, unless they had an accomplice.
She could have planned it all before. She could have had all these plans because she was at the hotel before. She could have had all these plans.
I think it was Jenny.
Bellboy, all that.
All in
And
favour
she-
of
and
Jenny?
Yeah. Okay.
I say Jenny.
You've seen all the evidence.
Yes.
You've interviewed 3 of the 4 suspects.
Yes.
Who, team, is your prime suspect?
Jenny.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Why?
Well, because she's had 2 records, and we think that it's a bit of a coincidence how she was the one that caught her finger. She came down at the right time when they were having their conversation. We just think it's a bit of a coincidence how that's all happening.
Jim,
Mhm.
You don't look too sure.
No, I'm not.
Why?
I think it's Claire, because I mean, how could Jenny be at the fire at the same time as at the same time, and also how could she have been there? Because Jenny walked off, and then
Have you made your decision?
Yeah.
Still going with Jenny?
Yeah.
Let's see if you're right.
It's time to bring down the final suspect. It was Claire Almond.
Oh my god.
What did I tell you?
Oh my god.
Oh.
Claire must have been very upset when she found out that Roger was going to unveil his malaria cure at the conference. This morning at the hotel, she must have spotted the bellboy taking out Roger's case to the storeroom. After a few moments, she followed him out. This was the opportunity she needed to destroy the remaining sample of his serum. She noted where the bellboy had put the case and set up her alibi by checking out the gym. Then she put on her brown suede gloves and retrieved Roger's case, taking it to the cloakroom where she was less likely to be disturbed. She forced open the case and destroyed the vial of serum. In a hurry to return the case to the storeroom, she dropped the nail file she'd used to force the lock.
You're all free to go. Thank you for your time. Although, Miss Almond, you stay right where you are. So, it's been disappointment for our team this time around. It was a very difficult crime to crack. Perhaps they should have listened to Jim. Who did you suspect?